right, should we get started, Thep?
Absolutely. Welcome, everyone. It is another community call for STEP. I wanted to apologize in advance as I am feeling a little bit under the weather, so my voice might not cooperate throughout. So bear with me. And I am joined by George, as always. Welcome, George.
Welcome, everyone. And good to be here. Now, I am currently in a co-working space that I'm trying to find a room. And if I get kicked out, I'll let you know. But we should be good for the next 30 minutes.
We can hear you just fine for now. So let's get things started. So today we'll be talking about what's going on in the overall markets, and we'll be discussing our upcoming event, Solana Crossroads, that is taking place in Istanbul, Turkey at the end of March, and giving some more details into our soon-to-launch STEP data analytics platform, which we're very excited about. I guess let's start with a bit of market analysis and try to digest what's been going on lately. George, what are your thoughts on the crypto markets this past month? And if you have to guess, where do you think we are in the bear market?
Well, maybe it's not so much about where we're at or sort of how things are going. It's maybe the absence of how things are going. It's kind of like the famous marketing campaign, Got Milk. Actually, in the words of Steve Jobs, they're talking about the absence of the product, and that's what made it successful. But I think, so that's to say that there's not really that much happening. After FTX sort of wrecked everyone, I think like a lot of Solana liquidity has dried up. We've got Serum that's still in this quasi state of existing but not existing. People switching over to open book, although it's not quite clear which markets are on open book already right now. I think the Soul Ape team have open book set up, but they're not distinguishing, I don't think, in their UI which markets are open book or which ones are Serum. Aldrin's gone down a different path and they've forked their own Serum and they're doing their own thing. So yeah, I think the markets are just a bit all over the place, and but that's not a shock to anyone. So yeah, what could we say? I mean, what we can say is things have quieted down, but I think a lot of what's going to happen has already happened. So I actually look at that in a positive sort of light, and great. I think that now we can at least focus on Solana being Solana without the absence of Alameda hanging over it and associations with FTX and so on, which didn't exist in the first place. FTX, they haven't done anything with Solana for the last year anyway. So that was sort of a non-event. But anyway, that's sort of maybe my take on where we're at. Does anyone disagree?
I do agree that we're probably seen the worst, and if anything, we're probably going to do sideways, which is great for accumulating, in my opinion. I know during our last community call, we talked about FTX versus like the previous events that happened during other market events, such as Mt. Gox and versus FTX. At that time, it was so new that we didn't know what was going on. Now, I think we have a better understanding of the aftermath effects. If you have to compare those two or any other bear market events in the past, I know that you've seen many of them. What do you think about the aftermath of FTX versus, for example, a Mt. Gox? Is it any different in your opinion?
Well, Mt. Gox has been dead for 8 years now, and people still haven't got their coins out of Mt. Gox. They're still waiting for their Bitcoin, as far as I understand. Now, Are we going to be having a similar situation happen with FTX? Is that going to go into some insolvency period where all of the coins that were in FTX or supposedly still there are just like locked? This is why I posted a while back, like in the case of STEP, it's something like 25% of supply or something was on FTX. And they're still there, like in those FTX hot wallets. So really, I mean, A, they're owed to the people that were depositors. But B, it might be like, unfortunately, many years until those coins actually ever see the light of day. So maybe that's sort of one thing to keep in mind, is that a lot of large percentages of supply for a lot of projects perhaps were on the FTX hot and cold wallets, and therefore it's, they might not see the light of day for a while yet. So yeah, I mean, things come and go. There's been lots of events in the past. It's not fatal. It's just unfortunate. It's just yet another example of why we need decentralized finance and DEXs and all this kind of stuff, and why they're awesome. And hopefully that message gets across this time. Hopefully people understand the whole point of self-custody and why it's important. And yeah, I could have my fingers crossed. I don't think it will get across, but we'll see.
Right. And on that note, recently someone released the Alameda's investment sheet, and you tweeted about it. Maybe let's talk about that, on your thoughts. What did you find notable on that sheet?
Yeah, so look, a lot of trader accounts on Twitter like to talk about the associations between Alameda and the Solana, and they use the word Solana ecosystem as well a lot. And they go, oh, Alameda's like either A, controlling as some evil overlord behind the scenes, where founders wake up in the morning and they get their orders from Alameda, and then they go and do their evil things, something like that. Or they just have this association that Alameda owns like 1 billion% of the token supply or something dumb. That's what it's made out to be. But I think the interesting thing and why I posted about it this week was we saw that that's literally not the case. In fact, the opposite is true. It was in the top 10 investments. So it was the VC portfolio of Alameda that got leaked. So it's not like the token holdings, which is on their balance sheet, which is separate. But of the different VC investments, 1 out of the top 10 was in Solana, and out of the top 20, 2 were on Solana. So literally 10% of their VC investments. And for the most part, most of their other investments in EVM land and Ethereum land were like double or triple the amount of VC investments that they did in Solana. And most of the Solana investments as well, they, like, if you scroll down that list, it was literally like 300, 400K of their investment. And that doesn't scream to me, wow, these are these evil overlords that they're controlling the system, because you can't control an entire ecosystem with a 300K investment when the market caps of individual projects are 8 figures. Like, that's just dumb, right? So hopefully this is good. This is good that it came out. It's maybe dispels some of the illusions that people had about the Solana ecosystem, thinking that Alameda's more involved than they are. But now people are seeing the truth in that they're not involved. They kind of did nothing for a lot of these projects, and it's completely inconsequential, their involvement or investments in a lot of these ecosystem projects. So I think it's good that came out. But unfortunately, you've still got a few Twitter accounts that are tweeting as if the data doesn't exist, like Hasaka as well. But hey, it is what it is. FUD's going to FUD. But I'm pretty interested with a lot of that data that came out. And yes, Step is on that list, and the number for Step is correct. So I assume that it's also correct for the others. The number for Step was 400K, which was the investment by Alameda. So yeah.
So that does mean that they never sold.
Well, I don't know. Like, you can look on chain and you can see that coins went to an Alameda address. There's only been one unlock so far. And that address, I think, is probably on FTX, and that's probably all frozen money now. So the coins probably, either they were sold long ago or they're frozen right now. Whatever case it is, it's not some sort of evil overlord which has a bunch of coins.
That's right. Yeah. Okay, well, on to the next subject, which I'm very excited about talking about. We just launched the next billion podcast, and we're very excited. And it's really great to have Solana-focused podcasts to highlight the builders, the leaders in the space, especially during the bear market. You met lots of teams and our friends in Lisbon in person for these interviews. So tell us about how the process was, and talk about the vibes that you experienced.
Yeah, so we're pretty excited to have launched the Next Billion, which is a podcast focused primarily on the Solana ecosystem. And essentially it came out of the idea that, look, a lot of there's maybe 3 or 4 major Bitcoin podcasts, there's maybe 2 or 3 major Ethereum podcasts. there isn't really a Solana one, even though, yes, there is the actual like official Solana Foundation podcast, I think. But for an ecosystem which is doing more transactions than every other chain combined and has markets in terms of like you look at NFTs or you look at the number of DeFi projects, like it's comparable in every sort of other way to Ethereum. So it certainly makes sense that we should have a voice there. And if not anyone else, then it should be us. So we decided to launch this. It's called The Next Billion. Essentially, we're looking at the people and the builders that are building the things to onboard the next billion people into crypto. That's always been the goal. That's always been the important thing. I've been in crypto for almost 12 years now, and it's always been the case that crypto is private money for the world, and that's what the world needs. It's not going to need it less over time. In fact, it's going to need it more. So we want to talk to the really awesome people that are doing really great stuff. So a lot of our first batch of episodes were recorded at Breakpoint. Now, for those who remember Breakpoint, the big Solana conference, that was last month now, actually, about a month ago. Wow, how time flies. A lot's happened since then. But we were recording with a lot of the different parts of the ecosystem, mainly a lot of DeFi projects and friends of ours at Step. So a lot of those are going to be coming out over the next few weeks. We started with Erhan from the Istanbul Blockchain Week, and I think we also just launched with Friction as well, as I think it was yesterday, something like that. So there'll be a lot more podcasts coming out. We talk about a lot of different things, mainly just sort of about what the projects are doing, but we also want to get into more in-depth discussions and make it sort of rather than just a question and answer thing, we want to make it more of a discussion. So if anyone has any people that they have in mind who they'd like to see on the podcast, definitely let us know, let them know. We're always down for organizing that and talking to cool people. But yeah, look, this is going to be part of our ongoing sort of market outreach at Step. This is all part of our media strategy, to be honest. So I think it's very important for us to be that sort of place in the ecosystem that people can go to discuss a whole bunch of different stuff. That you might be a little bit more restricted, I guess, on maybe the official Solana Foundation podcast. I don't know. That's just my take. Being like an official affiliated L1 kind of thing, they don't want to be seen to be favoring one side over the other, or don't want to get into too many controversial stuff. So hey, controversy, that's what we like. So we think that the podcast has a good spot. But yeah, look, super excited. Anyone has any improvements, let us know. And yeah, I'm super excited to get a lot of those other episodes out in the next few weeks for everyone to see.
That's great. So like you said, on our first episode, we had Erhan, the founder of Istanbul Blockchain Week. So a lot going on in Turkey, including our own event, Solana Crossroads. And the team has been working hard planning the Crossroads event. How has that experience been so far? Maybe we can share with our audience. And I hear that there is an announcement that's coming soon.
Yeah, totally. So, look, we've spoken before about the relevance, I think, of our Crossroads conference and these sorts of things. But just a quick recap: we are hosting next year in March the 31st in Istanbul a conference called Solana Crossroads. We're bringing a lot of the Solana ecosystem to that. We'd love to see everyone here or everyone who's listening to this after the fact. Get on over to solanacrossroads.com to take a look. We're going to have lots of most of the ecosystem projects. B, we're going to have podcasters, media, also a lot of the local ecosystem devs, dev tracks, and we're working with some really cool partners to do that. We have, I think we can say probably pretty soon there'll be the speaker list dropping. So we'll be announcing who's going to be talking there very soon. And we still have spots as well. So do get in touch if you're going to be heading our way very soon. But I think mainly the important point is this. A lot of the growth, so for Step, Turkey's our number 2 market on our analytics. That's after the US number 1, then it goes Turkey, then it's like Japan, Nigeria, Thailand, Vietnam, something like that. And they're all pretty close together, by the way, positions like 3 to 7. But these are all very interesting markets for us. And I think that's a lot of where the growth is in crypto is it's in emerging markets, it's in non-English speaking countries, because really a lot of the content is unfortunately just in English language at the moment. So there's a lot of people out there which aren't talking about all the things that we're familiar with and talking about. Perhaps they don't know, perhaps there's very few outlets for people to actually learn that. So we think that we want to bring together the rest of the ecosystem from all over the world. And Solana had some great hackathons recently in India. A lot of those people, unfortunately, couldn't come to Breakpoint in Lisbon because they couldn't get visas, which sucks. So in Istanbul, very open visa policy in Turkey, and people can come in. But the main point here is, look, we want to be open to the whole world. That's what it's all about. It's about onboarding the next billion people into crypto. So where are the next billion people going to come from? I don't think the next billion people are going to come from US, EU, Australia, and a handful of other countries. That's quite a developed crypto market already. But I think that there's a lot of builders, there's a lot of devs, untapped potential, a lot of content which has been locked behind languages for a long time. So look, we've been busy building that out. One of the cool announcements we have as well with Crossroads is we're excited. We won't specify just yet how, but we're going to be working with the cool folks over at Super Team. The Super Team DAO, if people are familiar with that, they recently set up a Super Team Turkey. And look, we've got a lot of really cool stuff planned with them. We're talking hackathons, different bounties, and other goodies that'll be available at the conference as well. So, look, it's about working with the local community as well as the broader international ecosystem, bring everyone together in one place. And where everyone, pretty much a lot of the people that we're going to be talking to in our podcast, hopefully also going to be joining us next year. So, super excited for that.
That's great. During one of the podcasts, I don't know if it was with Erhan or Friction. I think it was with Erhan. You guys discussed that there's just so many events under ETH, right? Or Bitcoin. Solana has certain events, and Solana Crossroad event is going to be filling that gap for Solana as being a different team organizing an event for the ecosystem. What do we plan to do differently than other past crypto events if you have to think about how Solana Crossroads is different than others?
Yeah, we want cool stuff to be happening. So, for example, we're going to have like a OTC desk in the conference, which is going to be pretty cool. For those familiar with Turkey, there's tons of like just random crypto OTC shops if you walk down the street. In fact, we walked down the street once with some team members at Step and we counted like 10. So, there's going to be places where you can do cash to crypto in the conference. There's going to be some local flavor stuff as well. There's going to be companies which accept crypto as part of the conference as well. So we want to get in touch with as many of those as possible. I always tell people that I paid an interior decorating company in Turkey in Tether to do stuff, and that was just like, it was just some random company that it was like, oh, you here's your bill, and then they were like, oh, can you send it to our bank account? And I'm like, can I just, do you have a Tether address or something? And they're like, yeah, sure, we do. So that's really cool. And that was just like a random conversation that you have, right? So there's a lot of payments, sort of stuff happening as well. So whether that integrates with Solana Pay or if it's just crypto payments in general, we want to also bring a lot of those companies to the conference. I think, Thep, you were saying like fortune telling as well. That will probably help a lot of crypto people, I think. But there's going to be some fun stuff, NFT, gaming focused stuff as well. So we want to make it an interesting place for people to be, but also something that reflects the local ecosystem, and probably for a lot of other Solana projects as well. They probably have similar analytics to us, with Turkey being number 2 market. So they probably have a lot of questions. They probably want to know how to reach more users. They probably want to hire local devs as well. And I think that's going to be super important. So, I think we want to try and make it different. And any ideas that people have with what maybe they would love to see at a conference, or maybe some things which you think conferences could have done better, do let us know, and we'll do our best to integrate that into the schedule while we're still building it.
That's right. So you talked about OTC desks, and I guess this is a good time to mention that the tickets for Solana Crossroads can be purchased with Solana Pay through Aton. So that's another thing to mention that. And maybe we can talk about the early bird tickets, George. Are they still available for people to purchase?
I think so, yes. So if you just head over to the website there, you can pay in crypto. So that was another thing which I made some tweet threads about how I was pissed off about how conferences that are crypto don't charge in crypto. Like, what are you doing? Why are you not just taking USDC for your conference that's meant to be all about how wonderful crypto is? Why do you have to give a credit card? That's dumb. And by the way, we had all sorts of problems when we were buying our tickets for Breakpoint. We had to refund and individual credit cards. It was just a whole mess. So anyway, just pay in USDC. Everything's done. Everyone's happy. So yeah, that's one, tick in the box.
That's right. So we still have the early bird tickets at A10 for anyone who's interested in buying it cheaper. And the pricing is probably going to start changing soon. And we'll be probably announcing that. And I also want to talk about something that our community talks frequently and requesting updates on the Step Data and Analytics platform. What are the updates can you give us today?
Yep. So this is the big one, right? And this is what we've been working towards for a lot of this year. We've had a lot of distractions along the way of different things happening and popping up and this sorts of stuff, but it looks like we're on the final home stretch. We have a current sprint going on right now with a lot of the sort of final front end tasks to be done there for the new analytics platform. Now, what it'll launch in what we would like to say is more of an alpha form. This was the decision which came up, right? It was, do we launch now or do we launch later when it's perfect? And we've taken the decision that we should launch now and then we should iterate on it and just go from there. So we'll be launching in an early access alpha state. People can check it out. We'll have a lot of interesting metrics on there. But really, the way I see it is like when Step launched, like whenever it was, early 2021 now, there was really two projects on Solana. There was Radium and Serum. That was it. But over time, there was an explosion of a lot of projects, and we just had to focus on just smashing out integrations. So every week it was, this project's now showing up on the dashboard. This one's now doing it, and we had to get information from all of these different random teams all over the place. It was all non-standardized, blah blah blah. So, but it was quite a quick pace of adding a whole bunch of different new things, and it was also new things which people cared about and wanted to see on the dashboard. So that's how we grow. Now, I think it's going to be a similar thing with data. We've built out a lot of the necessary underlying architecture and scalability to make that happen. And now it's just about adding more fancy dashboards and flashy charts and lights and explosions and these sorts of things, right? So I think that the pace of which we can add more stuff to the data product is going to increase, and that's going to be our major focus, because a lot of the integration stuff has died down a little bit. There's less people launching in a bear market as you'd expect. So we don't have to pay as much attention to that. But what we are very interested in is exposing interesting things, interesting insights. What is the total liquidity available in an Orca concentrated liquidity AMM? Oh, Orca says a number on their website. Cool. What's that over the last 6 months? Does that include in the money, whirlies which are currently in the money, or does it include ones which are out of range? Where does that number come from? Stuff like this is the kind of insights which nobody else has, which we're working towards. And we're going to have a lot of other cool stuff coming up soon. But so look, there's only really a few tasks left for us to get it out. I've always said before the end of the year, that's still what we're working towards. Fingers crossed. I think that we will be able to do that. But yeah, that's what we're working towards. So it's not too long now. And yeah, for Step, it's going to be a major milestone, and it's going to be something that we're really excited about to just be building on for the foreseeable future, and just adding a lot more awesome, useful data and insights to that. And you'll also see that we've definitely been going down the data insights path. We've got the newsletter. We've got the acquisition of Solana Flora as well earlier in the year. A lot of NFT data analytics stuff, which, by the way, we're going to be adding some more features to that soon as well. So lots to look forward to there. So, yeah, a lot of really cool stuff. I'm excited. In fact, I can't say everything, but it's going to be really, really cool. And yeah, we like if we have an early version for people to see for a limited time, do give us your feedback. Let us know, and then we can add even more cool stuff in the coming weeks and months.
That's right. So, what type of users do you think will find big use in the platform?
Good question. So, if you look at people like Dune, Nansen, Glassnode, who are the people that use those kind of products? Usually, you have sort of cheaper plans, which is your everyday crypto users like you and I, and we're just looking for maybe some basic information. Maybe we're doing some due diligence on some projects, or maybe we're just curious. So I think that's one customer type. So we're talking, not too much in terms of like a monthly subscription or something like that. Although those other platforms, they do start pretty high, but I just don't think that's sort of what we're going for. So there'll be that, but then there'll also be, a lot of people, why do they look at this on-chain data? It's because they want an edge. And especially a lot of these crypto trading funds, they want the edge before other people, and they want to know information before anyone else, so that then they can make a profitable trade, and then they can do all that sort of stuff. So they're willing to pay a lot more money for maybe more in-depth or niche insights into how things are looking on chain. So I think there'll also be plans that suit them as well. So that's kind of how we're thinking about it. Really sort of two customer types, I think, at the moment. I've said before it will be subscription based. And yeah, I think those two customer types kind of make sense. And we want to make sure that we have an interesting and compelling product for both of them. But yeah, I think it's a lot of people look at on-chain insights because they either want to do due diligence, just curious, or they're looking for some sort of trading edge to essentially make money and make $1 billion tomorrow.
That's great. I know you can't give us an exact date, but I know that we're going to start receiving questions when. How soon do you think we're going to launch this?
Well, if it's the 7th of December now and we're aiming for before the end of the year, that means that we've got about 21 days left or something like that, or however many it is. So yeah, we 3 weeks, let's say. That's sort of the goal. So hoping that we can get it out before then.
That's great. Yeah. I'm very excited about this. I guess I would like to see if you have any closing thoughts before we wrap this up.
Yeah. Look, closing thoughts are, we spoke a little bit about the market, where we're at. The Alameda VC investment thing, I think, is a really important narrative that is now sort of dead, and it's been killed. And that's great, because now people can get back to focusing on all of the awesome stuff that's going on Solana, and all of the hive of activity, all of the projects which are popping up all over the place, all of the really cool people that are just starting. In fact, I had a call, what was it, yesterday, with a new team which I'd never heard of before, but they're doing really cool stuff. They've been around for like 5 months. And yeah, they're just a lot of just random people popping up. And often they come from these hackathons, right? Or these different events which Solana does all around the world. And by the way, no one else is doing that. Only Solana's doing that. So yeah, look, I think great time to be in the market. Yes, everything number go down and everything is giga-wrecked bad. But that's also like when number goes up and everyone's bullish again, the number has probably already like 5x from where we are today. So that's usually how it works. That's been my observation is, people only get excited again and start calling it a bull market after number has already pumped a lot. So I think if you're looking for opportunities, now's the time to just, research into projects, see what's really, people are sticking around for. What are the things which still have traction or gaining traction, or sort of new things that are interesting? I think maybe one area for like the whole serum stuff with Solana, right? So serum, see you later, it's gone. SRM token, see you later, it's gone. We've got open book now. I haven't been keeping up of whether they are keeping the token or not. I don't know, probably not. But that's going to be one, I think, critical piece of infrastructure that hopefully will be fully fleshed out in the remainder of this month. I know there's a DAO and they're debating on stuff and doing all sorts of things. So cool, whatever happens there's interesting. But I'm more excited in a lot of the maybe like Gen 2 DeFi projects which will come along. So there are other central limit order book projects under development now, which on the face of it, from sort of how they're talking about things, look like a superior product to Serum. And yeah, there's going to be a lot more coming through as well. And I think a lot of earlier DeFi projects might sort of fade away, but that's okay. I'm really excited about this sort of the second coming of a lot of the DeFi stuff. So, and of course, with the NFT world, I mean, hey, that just keeps pumping along. I have no idea how that works. Wazza probably knows way more about that. I know he does. So yeah, look, they're just doing really well. The thing with the NFT world is it's so competitive now. Like there's so many marketplaces. We're working on integrating more marketplaces into Solana Floor. That's one discussion we've been having a lot with Waz this week. Was about how we're going to go about doing that, because there's now AMMs that are doing NFTs, not just auction houses. And you've got like however many auction houses now, I don't know, 8 or something crazy. So yeah, there's a lot more competition there, which, by the way, that's another interesting thing with Solana. Not only are there a ton of wallets, there's, I don't know, 20 wallets or something crazy, but there's also just a ton of these NFT marketplaces, which is quite a different sort of scene as you see on other chains. Other chains, it's like MetaMask has 80% market share, OpenSea has 90% market share, everyone else see you later. Yes, Magic Eden does have a large market share, but now you have people aggregating as well between other marketplaces. So anyway, TLDR, very interesting stuff. And yeah, if there's anything awesome that people would like to see, do let us know. As well, I should shill the Discord. Come on and join us in the Step Discord. A lot of friendly folks there. We always have a good chat. Yeah, you can see that in our Twitter profiles. I think we're going to have a link after this session anyway. But yeah, check it out. It's in the Step Twitter profile. So yeah, come join us.
Well, thanks, George, for all your insight, and thank you, everyone, for being here. If you have any questions about the things we talked about today, come join us on our Discord. We all will be there to answer them. Take care.
See you later, guys. Have a great day.